down with Shizzy, Wiz, Nut.
The avatar smiled faintly at the pixels, curving into the look of calm satisfaction, while in the garage her mouth twisted around a cigarette, filter like she was biting down on the end of an insult she wasn't ready to throw in yet. The pause stretched long enough for her chat to fill with facts and truth teller emojis before she continued. You know what this is really about? It's about control. He don't like it that I can get on here and talk to you. He don't like it that I can say what I know and I have people listen. He wants to own the conversation, own the narrative, and I'm not letting him. The delivery was so clean, so well practiced that if you didn't know the docket existed, you might almost believe it. She was the scrappy underdog, the lone voice standing up to the big bad businessman, but outside the live stream bubble, the paper trail told a different story, one where every truth she dropped came with a strategic target and a measurable hit to Jeremy's bottom line. Look, I ain't perfect, she admitted, a touch of gravel in her tone. I've said some stuff maybe I shouldn't have, but it wasn't lies. And if you can't handle the truth, that's not my problem. There it was, the soft pivot into the half apology that wasn't really an apology at all. When she chuckled again, low and knowing, trust me, there's more I could say, a lot more, and I don't think he wants me to start dropping those receipts, because once I do, oh, it's over. The receipts again, always on the horizon, never in the room. You want to know why I'm going to keep going? She asked, and through the avatar stared forward in unchanging expression. You could hear the smile in her real voice, because he's used to people just giving up, rolling over. I don't roll over. Not for him, not for anybody. When she was talking about a man she'd spent months undermining like she was the one under siege, still making herself the center of a drama she'd created, still hiding behind an avatar that would never sweat, never smoke, never fumble for a lighter between sentences, and she wasn't even close to done. The avatar's lips moved in perfect sync, not missing a beat. That digital smile didn't twitch when she stubbed her cigarette in a coffee can that once held loose screws, or when she cracked open another Diet Coke with a slow hiss of carbonation that her mic picked up like it was a sound effect. Let me explain something to you, she said, voice curling around the words like she was letting the audience in on a secret. He's mad because I talk. That's it. He doesn't like that I can get on here, tell you what's really going on. People believe me. This is intimidation, pure and simple. In her telling, intimidation always flowed in one direction, towards her. The court filings, the affidavits, the screenshots, she pretended they didn't exist. None of that counted. What mattered was how she could spin it into a story where she was the one backed into a corner. You know how many times I've been through this? She asked, leaning close enough to the mic that her consonants hit hard through her whistling gap. Too many. I've dealt with worse, bigger fish. And you know what? I'm still here. They tried to shut me down before, and it didn't work then, and it ain't gonna work now. She liked to rewrite her own history mid-sentence, and the regulars in her chat never called her on it. The past was whatever she needed it to be, a scrapbook of made-up wars she claimed to survive. I don't care about the money, she went on. It's not about that. It's about principle. And the principle is you don't get to mess with people and not get called out. Well, it was a neat trick. Reframe her actions as moral enforcement and rather than calculated interference in someone else's work. Calling out sounded a lot better than targeting your contracts until they dry up. I've had people message me, tell me crazy things for keeping this, she said. They said, why don't you just walk away? You know why? Because if I do, he wins. And I don't let bullies win ever. Behind the avatar's steady gaze, her real mouth pursed, the skin around it marked with faint nicotine stains. She was the kind of person who could take the word bully and wear it like armor, even when the records showed she was the one doing the pushing. She flicked her lighter, but the flame didn't catch. And another thing, she said, the sound of the wheels sparking again. If I was lying about anything, they'd have shut me up already. You know it. I know it. The fact that I'm still talking means I'm telling the truth. Well, that was her favorite leap to logic. Still talking equals being right. Like the legal system was a playground where the kids still yelling must be the one who won. I got nothing to hide, she repeated, and then with a conspiratorial tone in her voice, he is the one hiding stuff. You watch, it'll come out. They always slip up. When he does, oh, it's going to be glorious. She savored the word glorious, dragging it out, letting it linger in the air like a puff of smoke. In her mind, slip up meant anything she could twist into an admission. People keep saying, please say you're brave for speaking out. The avatar smiled, was still holding steady while the real fleas took a long drag, exhaled slowly. Let the gravel in her voice get thicker. I'm not brave. I'm just not scared. There's a difference. Brave is doing something you're afraid of. Scared, that's for another people, and I don't get scared. Truth was, she was scared plenty, just not of talking. She was scared of daylight on her real face, scared of evidence in the wrong hands, scared of her stories being compared side by side, but fear of exposure wasn't the same as fear of confrontation. I could have kept quiet, she said, sat there, minding my business, but that's not me. You come for me, you better become ready for a fight. Her fights were always self-declared, self-justified, and always somehow framed as defense. You know what the real problem is? She leaned forward closer to a mic, pick up the faint click of her teeth. He's used to people needing him. I don't know what's pissed him off. I can walk away from him anytime, but he can't stop watching me. He's obsessed. There it was, the inversion. She'd spent months following his business moves, live streams, whispering warnings to his partner, timing her streams to his content drops, and now she was the one being watched. You can't buy me, she added, a sudden burst of righteous heat in her tone. You can't scare me, and you damn sure can't tell me what to say. Another pull from the Diet Coke, the sound of the can hitting the desk. Besides, every time he tries to shut me up, all it does is prove me right. You notice that? It's like, thanks for the free publicity, genius. Now everybody's asking what I said. Chat filled with laughing emojis as she basked in the glow from the yellows. And still, the avatar's face never changed, a static mask over the woman in the garage who thought she was winning because she could talk. She settled in like she was just getting warmed up. Well, that garage air was heavy enough to taste. The stale cigarette smoke, the faint metallic tang of tools rusting in the corner. Somewhere under the table, an old fan hummed on low, not for comfort, but to keep the laptop from overheating. You know what gets me? She said, words dripping like molasses, stretching out into a rhythm she'd clearly practiced. He keeps saying I'm fixated on him, like I'm sitting here day and night thinking about him. Please, I got a life, I got things to do. I don't even think about him unless he gives me a reason. The line was a good theater, except the reasons she talked about were almost always things she'd done, gone out of her way to find. No one had to hand her a topic. She dug until she had one. And you know what else, she said, hitting that sweet spot between scorn and smugness. If I was obsessed, why wouldn't I even be talking about him here? I wouldn't waste my time on someone who doesn't matter. I'm just talking because people deserve to know what he's about. She was unaware, or maybe fully aware and unconcerned that her words contradicted each other in the space of two breaths. That's what her real talent, weaving the contradictions so tightly into the monologue that her chat never even noticed. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, she continued, her voice riding the edge of a smoker's rasp. He's the one keeping my name in his mouth, not the other way around. He's watching me. He's tracking me. I don't got to lift a finger. He does all the work for me. In the glow of the avatar that sounded like power, in the reality of the garage, it sounded more like someone trying to convince herself she wasn't the one refreshing his feed. Every time I go live, people showing up with something new he said about me, she went on. And you know what? I laugh. I sit here and I laugh because it's pathetic. You could be doing 100 other things with your time, but no, you got to talk about me. She drew out that last me like a hook in a pop song, like her own name was supposed to land as a punchline. It's projection, she decided, tapping the table for emphasis. That's what it is. Everything he's doing it. He's the one trying to wreck lives. He's the one stirring up drama. I'm just defending myself again. You know what I think? She, like, that again. Well, it was her proof. It was a pattern that she was the constant target. It skipped right past the possibility that maybe, just maybe, she was the common denominator. You know what I think? I think he's scared. I think he's scared of, I've got the guts to say what everybody else is too scared to say. That's why he's running to the courts. That's why he's crying to the people. He wants to shut the door before more people hear me. It was vintage fleece of logic. Court equals fear, not accountability. Lawsuits weren't about harm she caused. They were about the flailing of someone too weak to take the truth. I don't care who he's got in his corner. You line them up, I'll take them one by one. I've done it before. I'll do it again. Slightly accent, sickeningly thicker, like her vowels got heavier with each drag of her cigarette. Because I'm not the one in the wrong here. He is, always has been, always will be. She loved these sweeping declarations. No room for nuance, no gray area. In her mind, saying something with enough certainty was the same thing as proving it. And for the record, she said, voice dropping to that faux intimate register that made her audience cleaner. I don't care if he loses everything. That's not my problem. If you can't run your business without talking to people, maybe you shouldn't be in business in the first place. Avatar slightly blinked, the digital equivalent of a shrug, while the garage she leaned back in her chair, the sound of the seat creaking under the weight of her body. You can't ruin someone who's solid, she declared. If he gets ruined, it's on him, not me. Well, now the mental gymnastics were Olympic level. Dismantle a man's revenue, then call the damage proof of his weakness. You watch, she said, a little spark of excitement into the gravel in her tone. This whole thing's going to blow up in his face. He came after me thinking I'd back down. Big mistake, big mistake. Then she let those words hang, just savoring the weight of them. And in that moment, you could almost see the story she was telling herself. Not a woman in a garage under a fake face, but a heroine standing on the edge of a final showdown, righteous and unstoppable. Watch, she says, settling that husky, triumphant register like she's dropping a trailer line. This whole fucking thing is going to blow up in his face. He came after me, thinking I'd back down. Big mistake, big fucking mistake. She lets that silent breeze, queen of the dead air, because in her head the crowd is roaring, the words starting up again, slow and syrupy, like the cigarette she wishes she had lit, but just keeps forgetting to. You know what he doesn't get? Court isn't where the truth goes to die. It's where the papers get shuffled. He thinks paper beats people. I got receipts. I got all of it on my fucking channel. He's over there filing whatever he's fucking. Oh, he's always ruining my business. Oh, I'm over here like, babe, your business ruined itself the day you thought you could silence me. She chuckles, pleased with the cadence. If your empire can't survive one woman talking, it's not an empire. That's cardboard in the goddamn rain. She slides right into prophecy. He'll throw deadlines at me. Motions the whole kitchen sink. I don't scare. I've seen worse. I've had worse. You think I lose sleep over a fucking cease and desist? Please, I read that in the car, red light, and laughed my ass off. A little clatter. Something on the table. Then she's back. He wants the judges. Bring him. You can't injunct the truth. You can't gag a mouth that never lies. If you try, congratulations, you just put a spotlight on me. You just told your whole fucking audience I got under your skin. Voice softens that faux conspiratorial whisper. Regulars eat up. Let's be real. He's scared of discovery. Oh, he loves the word when it's about storage units, right? Look what I found. Yeah, okay. Let's do discovery in front of a judge, sweetheart. Let's turn over messages, emails, DMs. Let's see who's really been pulling the strings, who's paying who's screen capping my live and sending it around. We can do that. We ain't got all night. Then she swerves, as always, into the Michelle and Barnes spiral, because every road leads back to the same grievance carousel. And while we're at it, she says, the rasp catching, I'm sick to death of here, and I did nothing. I did the party. I did the fence. I organized the lumber. I paid the taxes so a certain somebody couldn't buy the lien just to wave it around like a trophy. You remember that? Yeah, I handled that out of the barn budget because it needed doing. A breath. She resets the scene with that practice-wounded authority. The friends were the first, then the party, then the barn. Everybody who knows it, the ones posting fairy tales on Facebook, they weren't there. They never are. They just want attention. She keeps going, the rhythm tightening. We had gift cards, we had cash, we had volunteers, we had people buying screws, brackets, cement. Don't sit there and say the fence was paid for with gift cards. No, it fucking wasn't. I still got the little envelopes that came in. I sat there, scratched the codes while the guy scanned them one by one. And when the gift cards ran out, I paid the difference. Another B, the old familiar target, permits. She says, almost smiling at the words, you want to talk permits? Data permits in March, 8 months, 10 if you got the holidays. Nothing got done on it, not a nail. And then when the clock's about to run out, guess who's the villain? Me. Lisa won't handle the permit, honey. You knew the engineer was needed. You knew it couldn't be done in payments. You got paid 3 times while that clock was ticking. Don't stand in my fucking chat. Tell me I'm the reason your paperwork expired. She leans into the mic. And still, I lined up the framer. Permit or no payment. We're going to get inside done. Bedroom frame, electrical rough ends, plumbing lined up to septic, toilets hooked up. At least the basics of that little girl had a door and a light that turned on. That was always the assignment. Get HG a bedroom. The rest could come later. Then she pivots, because the sanctimony tastes better with a sprinkle of a threat. Now, I'm at the point where I got 2 choices. 1, the framer comes and here's 2 guys, do what they can done, but what's left? What's the money gone? It's fucking gone. Or 2, take what's left and put it in a trust for HG, school, future, something locked away where nobody can guilt, graft, or guilt trip it away. And before anybody chirps, yeah, I'll ask the folks who donate if that's what they want. Because that money was for her. Not for me. Not for the content. Not for clout. It was for her.